stalwart counselors who are here today, and those who are listening in the length and breadth of our country. It is to you that this party must now turn, to guide this vessel of hope and help, passion and care, commitment and determination, charity and love. It is to you that we must turn to the stalwart counselors, who Doc Stewart, a stalwart counselor in Grand Bahama, said, to get our party back on course. It is to the stalwart counselors that awesome responsibility rests, to revive the promises of the revolution and complete the mission that began when many of you were still young people, teenagers you were, who could only dream of that day when your children, the children of ordinary men and women, from streets and corners that were over the hill, removed from opulence and prosperity, would become the professional core of this country, the educators of our children, the uniformed branches of our government, the permanent secretary and the officers within the public service. Your work caused that to happen. That was the dream that you gave, and that was the dream that you had, and it's made a difference in our country. It was for a better Bahamas, and for your children, and for your children's children, and for generations yet unborn. That is why to you I speak as a member of the generation of inheritors, the generation that I call the Joshua generation, who are benefiting from your tenacious, uncompromising, and unyielding work. It is to us, this new generation, rooted in PLPism, grounded by the values and principle that we are our brother's keeper, and tested by fire that would melt the weak-hearted. We of this generation, the responsibility lies to us to carry through the work that you started, many of you more than 50 years ago. I say, fellow stalwart counselors, our party must never die. Last night, while in Exuma, a mother holding tightly to a young child asked me this question. She said, Mr. Wilchcombe, who will teach the young people the history of the Progressive Liberal Party? Another young woman said, we don't tell the young Bahamians the story of the PLP because some of us have been made to feel that it is wrong to talk about the revolutionary movement and about the great leaders like Sir Lyndon Oscar Pinley. She said we don't want to talk about our country being taken from a sleeping village infested by pirates to a striving nation led by sons and daughters of the soil. And a man from Black Point said we must let the young people know that the PLP mounted the cause for change and lifted our people from underclass to middle class, from uneducated to honor students, professorial, doctoral, and Rhodes Scholars. That it was the PLP who made every man, woman, and child believe that we could excel in love and unity, pressing onward, upward, onward, marching together to a common, loftier goal. Stalwart counselors, the PLP has a story to tell. It is a story that wins acclaim. It is a story that will rise in the scale of the bestsellers list of nations rising from slavery to ownership, from colony to independence, from obscurity to prosperity. It is a story that speaks of the common man, that man and woman who proved that nothing was uncommon about his dreams that he had for his children, that his dream was equal to that of those who did not have the battle wounds and the scars of you, the soldiers of the revolution, who fought for political and social justice. But, my friends, the story is not over. The story has not ended. The second chapter of this rise of the Bahamian people must now be written by this generation, a generation of new leaders who must now take up the fight and continue the forward march. I am fortunate because I was the last to sit at Sir Lyndon's feet. I'm also fortunate because I'm the first of this generation to ask you to give me a chance. We must now march again, and we must reach back to those who have been left behind. Many are wondering and are asking the question all over this country, can that party of Pinling, can that party of Milo, and can that party of Hannah rise again? Will the PLP party hear the cry from that young man who sits and lives in the bosom of PLPism, who lives over the hills still today, but cannot rise up because no one has given him a chance? Are we going to hear his cry, and are we now prepared to put boots back onto the streets? Will we not hear the young man who wants an opportunity, but feels that the doors have been shut? Are we not going to hear the young girl, or will we continue to sing that song that we heard earlier this year, that there's nothing to smile about in our Bahama land? I can tell you a story of a woman and her 3 children who all of last week slept in a car, and they rode all night so as to avoid authorities because they had nowhere to go. I can tell you the story of a young woman, a university graduate in my constituency with a degree in criminal justice, who, like countless others, cannot find work and wonder, did they make the right decision to come home? I can tell you the story of young men who are frustrated by the system, a system that says because you made a mistake, you don't deserve a second chance. I know of these stories, and I know the pain and the suffering, the hurt and the despair, the frustration and the anger that permeates our country. It has seeped into our mindset and has placed frowns on the faces of beautiful people. We cannot and we must not avoid the cries of the people. And we as PLPs must say that we have the answers to the problems of this country. The PLP must turn those frowns to smiles. The PLP can save that young man before he crosses the line to a life of eternal despair. The PLP can create that cause, the same type cause that we created back in the 50s and the 60s, the cause that you were a part of for political and social justice. We must now create that new cause, and that new cause for the 21st century, that new cause that was projected by Lyndon Pinling many years ago. He said, the same way we set a date for political and social independence, we must now set a date for economic independence. Now is the time, and this is our moment, and our great PLP party must now lead the way. We must repower the PLP to empower the Bahamian people. Now is the time, if we wish to see our people happy again. Now is the time, if we wish to eliminate the misery index, if we wish to introduce to this country the gross national happiness. Now is the time for us to dream again and to dream big again. Now is the time to repower the PLP to empower the Bahamian people. That process begins in October at our next convention. And I'm asking you, the Stalwart Councilors, to give me the chance. Give me the chance to serve as your deputy leader. Give me the chance, and I will commit myself to full-time work as deputy leader of the Progressive Liberal Party. Give me the chance.